Welcome back, everyone. It's great to see you all.
All right, we'll get right into questions. Terry Koshan, Toronto Sun.
Good to see you again, Morgan.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, sir. So I guess the question that we're all, everyone's talking about and everything is your status and your future, and how do you expect that to play out, and how do you keep those things at bay and everything that goes into it, being that you're the longest current serving Leaf here?
Yeah, I think you just deal with it kind of as it comes. And I think my approach this year with you guys is that I don't really want to discuss it publicly. And to be honest, that's between JP and Kyle, and I'm just going to take care of myself. I feel great. I'm prepared for the season. I totally understand that it's a question that's worth asking, and I'm not trying to disregard it by any means, because I think about it too. But I'm just going to go about my business, prepare for the season. I feel great, and Kyle and JP will talk privately, and I'm just going to worry about what I can do, and that's play hockey and play well, and the rest will take care of itself.
Is it your desire to be a Maple Leaf beyond this season, Morgan?
Again, I think you all know how I feel about being a Leaf, but there is a business aspect to it. I'm going to take care of myself. I feel great. I'm prepared for the season. I'm going to really focus on having a good start, and then, like I said, the rest will take care of itself. But being a Toronto Maple Leaf is pretty special to me, and we'll see what the future holds.
Hockey question for you then.
Love it.
Okay. What adjustment do you guys expect, if any, getting back to the Atlantic now after the one-off, the North Division, and seeing the same teams over and over again? It's Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers have made some moves.
Yep.
But you can never keep Boston out of the conversation.
Right.
The Habs went to the final. So what are your thoughts getting back to the division, that level of competition you'll be facing?
Yeah, it's obviously a good division. There's lots of good players, lots of good teams. All guys that we've played against before in the past, so it's not entirely foreign. But I think there's going to be an adjustment period when it comes to travel, when it comes to not playing the one team 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row. So, but I think that'll come naturally. I think, generally speaking, last year's a pretty small sample size, so I don't think that changed anything about the way that we're going to go about anything. But I think we're all looking forward to getting back to a normal schedule and traveling normally. And I think there's plenty of challenges ahead, but we're looking forward to those.
Kevin McGran, Toronto Star.
Morgan, how did you personally deal with the disappointment of how things ended last year? Yeah,
I think we all deal with that type of disappointment a bit differently. And for me, there was just a lot of reflecting. That's as bad as a loss as I've experienced. So I think it took some time to kind of come to terms with it. And I think as a leadership group, we tried to carve out some time to talk about what happened, why it happened, and what we can do to move forward. And I think we feel comfortable with the plan that we have, and we're going to press forward. I think that's in the past. We're going to worry about what we can do right now. That starts with on ice training camp tomorrow, and we're going to work hard to make sure that doesn't happen again.
And how about you? Did you do anything differently this summer that you might not have done, either mentally or in the training room or on the ice?
Yeah, I think you always have to adjust and adapt a little bit. I think if you don't do that, you kind of remain stagnant. But those things that I did, I didn't reinvent the wheel or anything. I just tried to add a couple things into my kind of routine, and that's all. Nothing to write home about.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take these ones that are standing. Go ahead, Pierre.
Morgan, just one more contract question, if
Sure.
you will. But there are players in your position of your stature in the past that have told their agent, listen, if we don't get something done by this date, I don't want this hanging over me all year because it takes away from what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Other players are comfortable keeping the lines open all year. Which camp do you foresee you being big in?
I'd say neither. I'm not. It's not really anything that I'm going to try to control. I'm just going to try to play hockey. I have a lot of confidence with where I'm at right now. So I'm not going to try to put any rules on JP Barry and tell him what he can and can't do. So I'm going to let that happen between JP and Kyle, and I'm going to take care of what I can do just every day. And that's I think the best approach for me.
Thank you.
Dave McCarthy, NHL.com.
Hey, Morgan. You obviously haven't had the opportunity to play in the Olympics yet, but this season that opportunity is there. What's your focus on Team Canada heading into this season?
Yeah, right now my focus is on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I think that, I mean, just there alone, we have our hands full, and I think it's important that we stay focused on the present, and I stay focused on what's present in my life too, and that's training camp, that's tomorrow, that was, last week was fitness testing, so just going to take it one day at a time. I mean, I'm extremely confident with where I'm at personally, and I can't wait to get going. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but that's all I'm focused on right now.
Mark Masters, TSN.
Hey, Morgan. How would you describe the sense of urgency and what you feel around this group heading into this season?
Yeah, I think there's an aspect of that around, but I think it's important that as a group we keep focused on the present and we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. I mean, again, I know I'm boring, but we're just going to worry about tomorrow. We're going to take it one day at a time. I'd be lying if we weren't eager to get going and anxious to start playing meaningful games. But that time's going to come, and I think all we can do right now is prepare as a group the best we can. And I mean, for the 10th time, that starts tomorrow, and we're going to get rolling. And so we'll deal with that other stuff when it comes.
And for the 10th time on the contract, it seems like you have a really good view on how to handle it. Who did you, if anyone, talk to, get advice in terms of crystallizing that view?
I think you just do what works for you. What Pierre alluded to, people are different. They go about it different ways. You just gotta, come to terms with where you're at and what makes you happy, and just go with it. So, I mean, like I said, if you guys ask me again tomorrow, or the next day, whatever, it's just going to be the same answer. I'm not going to talk about it publicly. I'm just going to worry about playing hockey and just being the best version of myself, and then hopefully the rest will take care of itself. And I think that's the best way for me to go about it. And then that way you guys don't have to always ask.
Kristen Shilton, TSN.
Morgan, I'm just wondering, have you learned anything about what it's going to take for this team to thrive in those pressure situations that maybe it hasn't excelled in most recently?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. I think that you don't really know until you get back there. I mean, you can, talk all you want to your friends or your parents about, how tough the loss was or what you could have done differently or anything, but we'll find out, as we go through the season. I personally think there's been a lot of growth. I think that, guys are extremely motivated. And it hurt last year, hurt guys a lot. So I think we'll find out when we get to that point in the season. And then even before then, we're going to have challenges this year. Hopefully we play 82 games, and over the course of that span, there will be challenges and there will be dry streaks. But it's important that in those moments we're able to deal with adversity, push through. And I mean, like I said, we'll find out when that time comes.
Hey, Morgan.
Luke, go ahead, Luke. Sorry.
Considering the sour feeling after, did you watch the rest of the playoffs? Did you watch the semis or final?
I watched a little bit. I normally watch more than I did, I'll say that, but I kept track of it, yeah.
Yeah, and from what you saw, are there things that of the teams that make it to the semis or the final that stick out to you? We have to do more of that.
I think you can't help but think that way. And I mean, you have those thoughts after each year. If you don't win the last game of the year, you're always saying, what you could do differently. But I think like the major takeaway with that is that it's on us now to put the work in during the off season, which I believe we did. And now we're going to find out and, work hard and just take care of what we can this year. I mean, last year's behind us. We've talked about it. We've dealt with those emotions, and I think it's important for us to move on as a group. I think you have to take those lessons away and move on. So I think we're comfortable with the plan that we have in place, the people that we have. So, we're all looking forward to getting going. And I mean, like I said earlier, when that time comes, when, people are doubting us or whatever it might be, we're going to find out what we've learned and how we've dealt with it, and we'll see.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Morgan.